Every year, thousands of older adults in the US suffer strokes that completely change their lives, not because there wasn't time to react, but because they didn't recognize what their body was trying to tell them. Your body tries to warn you. It doesn't just let a stroke hit you out of nowhere. It starts giving small, subtle signs. But most people, especially folks over 60, don't know what to look for. Or they think, well, that's just what happens when you age. And by the time they realize something's wrong, it's too late. In this video, we're going to talk about 6 warning signs that show up as early as 30 days before a major stroke. These signs might seem small. A little dizziness. A bit of unusual tiredness. A strange headache. But together, they're your brain waving a red flag, asking for help. And I want you to think about something very real for a moment. What would happen if tomorrow, you couldn't move your arm? Or speak clearly? Or even get out of bed without help? I'm not trying to scare you, but I do want to help you protect yourself and stay independent for as long as possible. Because I know how much your freedom, your family, and your quality of life mean to you. Now, before we dive in, I'd love to know, where are you tuning in from? Comment below and share your city. I always enjoy hearing from you. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more tips like these. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming up next. Warning sign number 1, sudden, unexplained fatigue. Let's talk about something most people over 60 have felt at some point, feeling tired. But this isn't the usual, I had a long day, kind of tired. I'm talking about a deep, heavy fatigue that comes out of nowhere and doesn't get better with rest. A kind of tiredness that makes even simple things feel hard. You make the bed and have to sit down. You walk to the mailbox and feel like you just ran a mile. Now, here's what most people don't know. This kind of sudden, unexplained fatigue can be your body's first major warning sign of a stroke. And it doesn't show up the day before. It can start up to 30 days before the actual stroke happens. That means your body is trying to speak up long before the damage hits. The reason? When blood flow to your brain starts to slow down, your body starts working overtime. Your brain needs a constant supply of oxygen and energy. But if the arteries leading to your brain are getting blocked, even just a little, your body starts running low on fuel. That's when you feel this weird kind of exhaustion. Not sleepiness, but an overwhelming tiredness that doesn't go away. I know it's easy to brush this off. Maybe you've even said to yourself, well, I am getting older. But getting older doesn't mean you should feel drained all the time. And it definitely doesn't mean ignoring sudden changes in how your body feels. Let me tell you, this sign saved someone's life. A man named Thomas, 74 years old, used to be up every morning before sunrise, working in his garden. One day, he couldn't finish his usual routine without needing to sit down every 10 minutes. His wife convinced him to see a doctor, and guess what? They found a serious blockage in one of the arteries that carry blood to his brain. A stroke was just weeks away, but they caught it in time. So if you're feeling more tired than usual lately, really tired, don't ignore it. Write it down. See your doctor. Ask for a scan of your carotid arteries. It's a simple test that could save your life. Warning sign number 2, visual disturbances that come and go. Now let's talk about your eyesight. Not just blurry reading vision or needing stronger glasses, this is something different. I'm talking about sudden, temporary changes in your vision that come and go without warning. Maybe things look blurry out of one eye. Maybe you see double for a few seconds. Or maybe a part of your vision just goes dark or disappears, like someone turned off a light in part of the room. These are not normal signs of aging. These are your brain asking for help. Here's what's happening behind the scenes. Your eyes might be perfectly fine, but your brain, the part that processes what you see, isn't getting enough blood. The part of the brain responsible for vision can start to struggle when blood flow slows down. And when that happens, your vision suffers. Even if it's just for a few seconds, it's a red flag. A lot of seniors ignore this. I've heard folks say, "I thought I was just tired," or "I figured it was my glasses." But here's the truth, these visual changes can be signs of mini-strokes, or what doctors call transient ischemic attacks, TIAs. These are tiny strokes that don't cause permanent damage but are often the final warning before a major stroke hits. Let me tell you about Diane, a retired librarian. She was 71, healthy, and sharp as ever. But for a few weeks, she started noticing that half of what she was looking at would disappear for a few seconds, then come right back. She chalked it up to eye strain and ignored it. Thankfully, she mentioned it during a routine eye exam. Her optometrist took it seriously and sent her straight to the ER. That quick action likely saved her life. So, if you've had even one of these strange vision moments, don't wait for it to happen again. Write it down. Note what time it happened, how long it lasted, and exactly what you saw. Then call your doctor right away. And be specific, tell them you're concerned about mini-strokes or changes in brain blood flow. This isn't just an eye issue, it could be a sign your brain is in danger. Warning sign number 3, speech changes or trouble finding words. Have you ever been in the middle of a conversation and suddenly forgot a simple word? Not something complex, just a basic word like chair or door. Or maybe you felt your speech get a little slurred, just for a moment, even though you weren't tired or drinking anything. You probably brushed it off and kept going. But let me tell you, if this is happening more often, it's not just old age. It could be your brain trying to get your attention. Sudden trouble with speech, forgetting easy words, or slurred speech, even if it only lasts a few seconds, can be a serious warning sign that a stroke may be just around the corner. Specifically, these symptoms can start showing up 30 days before a major stroke. That's not something you want to ignore. Here's why it happens. Parts of your brain are responsible for language and communication. When blood flow to those areas drops, even for a short time, your ability to speak clearly or find the right words gets interrupted. Your brain is still working, but it's struggling. That's what causes these speech changes. I want you to hear about Gregory. He's 77, a retired attorney who spent his life arguing cases with confidence and clarity. Then one evening, at dinner, he paused mid-sentence and couldn't remember the word spoon. His wife noticed he'd been mixing up words lately and sometimes slurred a bit at the end of the day. They thought it was just part of getting older. But their daughter, a nurse, was at that dinner, and she knew something wasn't right. She convinced him to see a doctor the next day. The tests showed a blood clot forming. Without treatment, he could have had a major stroke within weeks. So if you ever feel your speech isn't quite right, or someone tells you that you've been mixing up words or slurring, it's time to take action. The next time it happens, use your phone to record a short voice memo. Then, bring that recording with you to the doctor. It's powerful evidence that can help them catch what's going on before it's too late. Warning sign number 4, unusual or severe headaches. Let's talk about headaches, but not the kind you get when you're dehydrated or haven't had your morning coffee. I mean new, unusual, or especially intense headaches that feel different from anything you've had before. Maybe it starts behind one eye, or maybe it wakes you up in the middle of the night. It might feel sharp, sudden, or like pressure building in one specific spot. If you're not someone who usually gets headaches and suddenly they've started happening, pay close attention. These kinds of headaches can be early signs of a stroke, especially if they show up out of nowhere and keep returning. Research shows that around 65% of stroke survivors report having strange headaches in the month leading up to their stroke. So no, it's not just stress or just getting older. It's your brain giving you a warning that something isn't right. Why does this happen? Your brain has no pain sensors, but the blood vessels around it do. When those vessels are under pressure, inflamed, or starting to narrow from a blockage, that tension can create pain. It's especially important to watch out for headaches that feel different than your usual ones, different in location, timing, or intensity. Barbara, a 73-year-old retired teacher, never had headaches in her life. But then, she started waking up every morning with sharp pain behind her right eye. She tried taking over-the-counter meds and ignoring it. Just age catching up with me, she thought. But luckily, she mentioned it during a phone call with her son, who works in healthcare. He told her to get checked out right away. Turns out, she had critically high blood pressure and a small aneurysm. If she hadn't gone in, that headache could have turned into a life-threatening stroke. So here's what you need to do: if you've been getting headaches that feel off, keep a small notebook and jot down when they happen, how long they last, and where you feel the pain. If one of those headaches is so bad it feels like the worst of your life, don't wait. Call 911. Go to the emergency room. It's always better to be safe. Warning sign number 5, dizziness and balance problems. Have you noticed yourself feeling a little unsteady lately? Maybe you've started veering to one side when you walk. Or you get a strange dizzy feeling when you stand up, even if you've been sitting calmly. Maybe you've even started holding onto furniture as you move around the house, not because you're weak, but because you don't feel fully balanced. If any of that sounds familiar, don't ignore it. It could be one of the body's most overlooked stroke warnings. Here's what's really happening: your brain has a special part called the cerebellum. It helps control balance and coordination. When the blood vessels leading to that part of the brain start narrowing, your brain has to work harder just to keep you steady. That's when the dizziness, lightheadedness, or sudden imbalance shows up. And just like the other signs we've talked about, this can begin 30 days before a stroke. It's easy to blame it on getting older or inner ear problems. A lot of seniors do. But there's a big difference between feeling a little off and suddenly struggling to stay upright doing things you've always done with ease. Take Howard for example. He's 79, and he's been walking his neighborhood loop every day for years. But then he started drifting to the left as he walked. He couldn't figure out why he kept losing his balance, especially when turning his head or walking around corners. He even picked up a cane, thinking maybe it was just old age catching up with him. But thankfully, his daughter noticed the change and insisted he see a doctor. An MRI revealed a blocked artery affecting blood flow to his brainstem. A stroke could have hit any day, but they caught it just in time. So here's what you should do: if you felt dizzy, off balance, or had even one close call with falling recently, take it seriously. Sit down immediately when it happens, and avoid moving around alone until you've spoken to your doctor. Ask them specifically to check blood flow to your cerebellum and brainstem. It's a quick scan that could catch a problem before it becomes a crisis. Warning sign number 6, temporary numbness or weakness on one side. This last one might be the most important, and the most dangerous to ignore. If you've ever felt a part of your body suddenly go numb, weak, or tingly, especially on just one side, your body is giving you a serious red flag. Maybe it was your arm. Maybe your leg. Or maybe half your face felt strange for a few minutes, then went back to normal. You might have thought it was just your foot falling asleep or maybe a pinched nerve. But it could actually be something much more serious, a mini-stroke, also known as a TIA, transient ischemic attack. Mini-strokes are small blockages in the brain that don't last long, but they are your brain's final warning before a full-blown stroke. And guess what? Almost half of stroke survivors report having one of these episodes in the month before their major stroke. Yet most people don't get help, because the symptoms disappear in a few minutes. But don't be fooled. Just because it goes away, doesn't mean the danger is gone. Let me tell you about Joseph. He's 82, a retired construction worker. For a few weeks, he started feeling numbness in his left hand and part of his face. It would last 5 or 10 minutes, then vanish. He figured it was just bad circulation or maybe something to do with sleeping in the wrong position. He never brought it up to his doctor. Luckily, he mentioned it to a neighbor, who happened to be a retired nurse. She immediately knew this wasn't something to ignore. She told him to get to the hospital that day. Turns out, Joseph had a serious blockage in his carotid artery, what his doctor called a ticking time bomb. They were able to treat it just in time. So here's the bottom line: if you experience sudden numbness, tingling, or weakness, especially on one side of your body, don't wait. Don't go to bed and see if it's better in the morning. Don't try to tough it out. Call 911 immediately. Tell them you suspect a TA. Ask for imaging of your carotid arteries and your brain. These few minutes of numbness could be the only warning you get before a stroke changes everything. Now that you've heard all 6 warning signs, I want you to pause and really think about something. What would happen if you lost your independence tomorrow? If you couldn't speak clearly, walk on your own, or remember the names of the people you love? I'm not saying that to scare you. I'm saying it because I care. Because too many seniors only learn about these signs after they've already had a stroke. But you know them now. You've taken the time to listen, and that puts you ahead of most people. Let's quickly go over what we talked about. Sudden, unexplained fatigue that makes normal tasks feel draining. Vision changes like blurriness, double vision, or dark spots that come and go. Speech problems, trouble finding words, slurred speech, or brief confusion. Unusual headaches that feel different or especially intense. Balance issues or dizziness that wasn't there before. Temporary numbness or weakness, especially on one side of the body. Each of these signs can start showing up 30 days before a stroke. That means you have time. Time to act. Time to get help. Time to stop something life-altering before it ever happens. You deserve to enjoy these years, your retirement, your family, your freedom. And I want you to remember this: strokes don't always come without warning. Most of the time, the body whispers. And when we listen to those whispers, we can stop the scream. So here's what I want you to do: don't ignore what your body is trying to tell you. If you've experienced any of the signs we talked about today, write it down. Call your doctor. Tell someone you trust. And take action now, not later. If you found this helpful, please share this video with a friend or loved one. You never know whose life you might save. And in the comments, if you've ever had any of these symptoms, even if they turned out to be nothing, share your experience. Someone else might read it and realize they're not alone. Thank you for spending this time with me. You've just taken a powerful step toward protecting your health and your future. Be safe, stay aware, and remember, you're in control more than you think. Take care.